Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome into the show that's on in the afternoon on this chilly afternoon.
It's very, very chilly. You're still bundled up here.
I am.
Yeah.
I am. Until the temperature reaches over 70, I'm going to look like this. Yeah. Whew, man. Jeez. I couldn't even... when I got in the shower this morning, it took forever for that water to heat up.
Yeah.
I mean, like 10 minutes.
Right.
Water conservationists are not happy with my use of water this morning.
So you don't sign you up for an ice bath anytime
soon. No. God, no. Boy.
It's not fun, actually, no.
But what is fun is we've got a great show today.
We have an awesome show today.
We do.
I'm excited, yes.
We've got Emily Ward here joining us in just a couple of minutes. She is a tour and programming specialist at the Ximenez-Fatio House.
Very nice.
In downtown St. Augustine. We're going to find out how she found her way here and
cool
some
story.
of the special stuff going on at Ximenez-Fatio right now. They got a lot happening.
They always are.
A lot happening.
They come up with some really cool things, but still are on point with the brand. I love it. They've got a great tour coming up. Yeah, I'm excited to talk to Emily.
Yep, me too. And we will get right into that in just a second after we tell you about our friends at Bozard Ford Lincoln who help us have these conversations every day. They are celebrating 75 years here in St. Augustine in Northeast Florida. They're here for you at Bozard Ford Lincoln. You can experience their extensive selection of new and pre-owned vehicles, quick and quality servicing, and their amazing parts and accessories shop. Don't forget to grab a signature burger at Ford's Garage while you're there. 904 burger, pretty great. That's what I heard. Mm-hmm. And that's what I've also experienced.
Yes.
They don't want it to sound like I've never been there and tried our burger. Mike Davis.
Multiple. Oh, I know, Mike Davis. Jeez.
They offer services from home delivery to company fleet servicing at Bozard Ford Lincoln. Your family is their family, and they are driven to inspire. As well as our friends at the Bailey Group. No matter where you want to go, they're going to help you get there together as a team, as a family. Their first priority is helping you take care of yourself and your family. They want to learn more about your personal situation. They want to identify your dreams and goals. Understand things like your risk tolerance. That's important, Davey, when they're building the perfect plan for you. Long-term relationships that encourage open and honest communication have been the cornerstone of their foundation of success. Give them a call. Let them make your life better. 904-461-1800. Oh, and speaking of making your life better, Davey, our friends at Amara Med Spa. If you are craving the perfect blend of relaxation and rejuvenation, Amara Med Spa is your answer. From luxurious spa treatments to advanced medical aesthetics, Amara's experts will personalize a plan just for you. Enhance your natural beauty with dermal fillers, laser treatments, Botox, all that good stuff, and more. Experience top-notch care in their state-of-the-art facility. Feel refreshed and revitalized at Amara Med Spa, 2100 A1A South, Suite 2. Book your appointment today at theamaramedspa.com. Nope, wrong button.
Whoopsie daisy. There it is.
It's the cold. I'm blaming everything on the cold today.
Everything is the cold, yeah.
That's it. Oh, our guest Emily Ward also trying to keep warm out here this afternoon. Emily, how are you? Thank you for coming by.
Doing good. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Excited to talk to you, and I'm glad we can get you out of the cold for a little while. Yeah. As I understand it, Ximenez-Fatio can get pretty cold when it gets cold.
It can. It can get really cold in the museum.
Well, how old is it? It's like an old building.
Right.
Yeah, so this year we'd be 226 years old.
Wow. You look great for 226. I will tell you that.
Amara Med Spa. That's amazing.
So, Emily, let's start with you. How did you find your way to St. Augustine, and how did you get connected with the museum?
So I'm originally from South Florida, and I came up to St. Augustine to go to Flagler. So I'm a Flagler alum, and I honestly picked Flagler not with the intention of what I was going to do, like being in St. Augustine and being with history. I had originally thought I was going to do psychology, and I just picked Flagler because it was a beautiful college. It was a small college. I had been used to small schools growing up. And then kind of over the summer before my freshman year of college, I realized maybe I don't want to do psychology as a major. Didn't know what I wanted to do. Reached out to my admissions counselor and told him the things I like about history, but wasn't really sure if that was the right major for me. I was like, I don't want to sit at a desk all day. Told him I like the idea of hospitality, but I'm like, I don't know if that's for me either. And he said, you should look at public history. And I started looking, and pretty much public history really gears you to work in museums and national parks and things like that. And I was like, wow, that's a really good blend of what my interests are. So then without even realizing it, I'd happened to pick one of the perfect schools in the perfect city for trying to do public history.
Oh, of course,
And Flagler being so small and St. Augustine being small, so many of my professors took advantage of that. And I got to do, in a lot of my classes, a lot of field trips and have a lot of in-person experiences. And it wasn't too hard to find internships. And that's actually how I started at the Ximenez-Fatio House. I started there as an intern back in January of 2021. So kind of right at my 3-year mark. And it's really funny because it feels like a full circle moment because I'm here to talk about I Lived Here as Well today. And when I started my internship, that was pretty much right at the point I was starting is when they were launching the I Lived Here as Well tour and the new exhibit on the 3rd floor. So really the first thing I was getting my hands on in the museum was kind of just helping out with like the finishing touches of those things. And then I moved into what my projects were and then stayed working there throughout my senior year of college and then just have continued to work there now. And then here I am now full time there. So
I love it.
That's great.
It's a great story.
And just, it sounds like you love it. It sounds like you love doing what you do.
Yeah, I think one of the things I really like about being at the Ximenez-Fatio House is I do think I am used to a small environment and I like that it's a small museum, but because of that, we all wear a lot of different hats and we all get to touch a lot of different things. And I feel like for me, especially being so young in the field, getting to be able to do as many different things as possible is so helpful for me. And it's such a good learning experience. And then the museum has such a cool history. And with it being as old as it is and as long as it isn't in St. Augustine, there's so many different areas of history that we can go into. And that's what helps allow us be able to do so many different exhibits and have different specialty tours and things like that and keep it interesting at the museum.
And the museum was a boarding house. Am I saying that right at one point in history?
Yeah, so for the majority of its history, starting in 1830 is when it became a boarding house, and then pretty much throughout the 1800s it was a boarding house. So that's how we have the majority of the museum set up, is to represent the boarding house period.
I feel like there's like endless amount of stories that comes from this museum, like more than we can even uncover.
So it's really cool because with us being a boarding house, you have so many different types of people visiting the house and staying in the house. So just talking about the different types of visitors you could have, which is what we kind of do on the everyday tour, it's like that you can talk about so many different types of people and so many different things that they would have been doing in St. Augustine. And then just like with all the history, and there's so many different like cultures and different groups of people here in St. Augustine too, so you can talk about all of that. But then also just like the timeline of events happening in St. Augustine and all the time the house existed. So it's like we can really go into so many different areas of history.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about the current exhibit, right? I Lived Here as Well. What is this experience about?
So the I Lived Here as Well tours, we're now going to be in our 4th installment of this tour. And that's really talking about the history of servants or enslaved individuals in the house. And our house was originally built in 1798, which is in the Second Spanish period. So one thing that's interesting too is we can touch on the differences between Spanish Florida and American Florida.
Yeah.
And the differences in that with slavery and everything as well, because it was a very different system. And we know that we had servants in our house and that there were enslaved people in the house. So what this tour does is we've kind of created these different characters, starting you off in the Spanish period, working all the way through Reconstruction, to show you different people at different time periods in the house, and in St. Augustine, what it would have been like to be a servant in the house. And it's really interesting because I think this tour, it's just such an engaging experience, because when you're doing it, it's more of a live action or performance-based tour. It's not like I'm not sitting here and talking to you as if we're talking from 2024. You're kind of supposed to be immersed in the different time periods. And it's like every couple of characters or character you meet, it's kind of moving you forward in time. So I think it's a really cool and a really engaging experience to hear about that side of the history.
Did the house change when, the Spanish rule kind of left? Like, what was the transition period like? What went on there?
Yeah, so when the house was originally built, it was built by a Spanish merchant named Andres Ximenez. And when he built it, he was using it for his family to live upstairs, and then he was running a general store and a billiards hall out of the downstairs. Oh. And then he had a couple of warehouse rooms. So then after he died, his children ended up selling their shares of the property. And 1821 is when there was that official change of flags, and we went from being Spanish Florida to American Florida. And a woman named Margaret Cook purchased the property and opened it as a boarding house in 1830. Huh. So she converted some of the warehouse rooms to be rooms for boarders. Eventually, some additional rooms were added to be rooms for boarders. Billiards hall became a dining room. The tavern area became an entry hall or a lobby to the boarding house. So it kind of changed not just the structure of the house, but then also pretty much all the people who were going to be in town, because most of the Spanish left. Once it became an American territory, they wanted to stay under Spanish government, and they left. So now you have all these Northern Americans who are looking at Florida as their perfect winter resort, really.
Typical, yeah.
So, not much has changed. So for Margaret Cook, starting a boarding house was a smart business move, because then most of her guests were wealthy Northerners who were coming to stay for the full winter season. Like, a lot of times people were there from like November to April. So that's usually, then that was kind of the attraction, is bringing all these Northern visitors down, and then they were staying in the boarding house. So that's
where it started, Davey.
Yeah,
that's where it started.
Margaret Cook. But rare for a woman to own a business in the 1800s, right?
Yeah, so that's one of the significant things about our property as well, is that throughout the 1800s, the boarding house was run by 3 single women consecutively.
God bless.
So Margaret Cook was the first owner, and then actually who she employed to manage the house was also a single woman. Then she sold the house to a woman named Sarah Petty Anderson, who then sold the house to Ximenez-Fatio. And all of them were single women. So, and we're still owned and run by women today. It's the National Society of the Colonial Dames of America, the Florida chapter.
Oh, okay.
Of the museum. So kind of a mouthful. I usually just say the Colonial Dames because that makes it easier to say than the whole thing every time. But they're the ones who own the museum. They purchased it back in 1939, and the place opened as a museum in the 40s and have been a museum since. So we do have a really cool women's history as well.
Was that intentional for it to be owned by women? I always wanted to ask that.
I don't know for certain. To my understanding, at least the reason the Colonial Dame saved it, that was part of the reason of the significance of the history. With Margaret Cook and Sarah Petty Anderson, I'm sure it was enticing to them that who they were selling it to was another single woman doing the same thing that they were doing. But I don't know if they did that on purpose. I would like to think that maybe that was the intention.
I want to believe that, yeah.
So
cool.
And then this tour, the I Lived Here tour, has been happening, since about the time since that you started, right?
Yeah,
2021?
So this will be our 4th version of the tour, really. So
okay.
The first
What's
one,
new?
The first one that we did, we had James Bullock. He came in and he did it, but we just had the male servant perspective. And then the next year, wrote a script, and we did I Lived Here as well, a woman's story, and that was from the female perspective, and we had Charmin Russell come in, and she did all of the parts there, and then we thought, it would be really cool to combine these, so people are kind of seeing both, and you could also have some interaction between the 2 actors, really, or the reenactors. So we then last year did I Lived Here as well together, and kind of combined the 2 tours. And we wanted to do something again this year because we do think it's one of our best tours that we do, and we do think it's important to do something to emphasize this side of the history. So what we did this year is we're still having both Charmin and James, so you'll have the female and the male perspective.
Nice.
But we're taking a couple of the characters that we've had in the past, and we're kind of putting them forward in time and showing kind of a future part of their story. So for anyone who's been coming to I Lived Here as well or has seen the past tours, these characters that they've kind of known or seen over the years, they get to learn more about them. But we'll have a few new characters too. And then for anyone who hasn't seen the tour before, even though some of these characters are recurring characters and you're setting them a little bit farther in their history, it's still one of those things where you don't have to have seen the past I Lived Here as well to know what's going on with this one. So I think it'll be really nice because it'll still be exciting for new people, but I think also we're going to keep it exciting for the people who've been seeing it the past few years.
Sort of like an evolution of the story, essentially.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
That's awesome. So when are the dates? When is the window that we can jump on this tour?
So-
James Bullock, by the way, has a great voice.
Seriously.
yes.
What
I was
a,
just thinking that.
I can just listen to that guy talk
so
all day
good.
long.
I know,
Yeah.
he has a perfect voice for storytelling.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great,
So engaging.
Great to have him involved in the tours for sure. I think, he makes it such an engaging experience. It's really great.
I think storytelling by one of those fireplaces with James Bullock would be an amazing idea. Just
Wow. I'm
It would be.
hey, that would be an
I
amazing
would totally listen
series.
to him all day long.
Keep note of that. We did do actually in October we do mortality and mourning tours. And we did not this past year, but the year before. We did like a little spooky storytelling session at the end of the tour, and we're like, we have to get James to do something.
Yeah.
So he did a few of them, and I was listening in, and I'm like, man, he just really gets into it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's so good. A great performer, too. So I'm sorry, I cut you off. What's the window that we can
So-
take advantage of these tours?
Yeah, so dates. So we'll start February 8th is the first day that we'll be starting. It's the Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays from February 8th to March 2nd
Okay.
at 10 a.m.
Cool.
And
Very
then
nice.
if anyone is interested and does want to book for the tour, all the dates are also listed on our website. And then it is a tour that requires reservations ahead of time.
Okay.
So they can go on our website, and we do have an I Lived Here as well page, and that'll take them to our Eventbrite, and then they can book the tours there. And we're doing great so far. We have one of our days is already sold out.
Nice.
And then actually 2 of our days are, I think, already sold out. And then we have a couple days that are kind of climbing up there.
How many peeps are in like a session?
So we cap it at 15.
Cool. Okay, good to know. Okay,
Yeah.
very nice. So it could be like a fun family outing thing with a group of families together. That could be a lot of fun.
Yeah, we try to cap it at 15 because some of the rooms in the museum are honestly kind of tight. They're a little bit smaller. So that's usually why we try not to allow more people. It's just because we don't want people to be cramming into the rooms. But 15, seems to be a pretty good number because you'll also have James and Charmin in there. Usually me, I'll be in there kind of leading the group. So there's always an extra few people too. So it's nice to try and keep it at a bit of a smaller number.
How long is the tour, plus or minus?
So the tour itself, like the true tour portion, usually runs around 40 to 45 minutes or so. Okay. But then we do a question and answer period after, which I do think that part is really nice that we have that. Because you can't ask questions during the tour because it is more performance-based and you'd kind of be interrupting the tour or taking out of the characters. So it's nice because with that question and answer, we usually give a little bit of, this is why we're doing the tour, this is how we came to write these characters or whatever, and then let people ask their questions. And that can honestly run depending on how many questions people have. Or also, like we said, James is a great storyteller, and sometimes he just has like the best stories. And I've had people who have stayed and stuck around the museum until like 12 because they're just so engaged with asking questions about the tour. But usually, if you are on a time crunch, you can be out of there by 11. And then we do usually serve like some tea and muffins and stuff
Oh,
while we do the
fantastic.
question and answer.
Very nice.
Cool. So let people know that website where they can get reservations and where they can see what else you guys got going on, because you guys always have something going on down there, right?
Yeah, we'll have, so we just finished our art and history exhibit and then are flipping right into I Lived Here as well. And then after that, we'll have our Dressing Louisa exhibit, which is a women's fashion exhibit. And then we'll also have a Menorcan exhibit in the house because if anyone's unfamiliar, one of the employees at the museum, Ryan, he did it last November, did a walk. He walked 70 miles from New Smyrna
Incredible.
up to St. Augustine
Oh,
to
the
recreate
Menorcan
walk
route.
the Menorcans did.
Yeah.
And he's doing it again in March. So we're going to try and put a little exhibit in the house for that. And then after that, we've got the St. Augustine History Festival. So we've got
Because
some
Ryan
things
works at the museum. Am I
lined
saying
up.
that right?
Yes.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, what an awesome opportunity to like know Ryan and see like the strengths. He's doing it again.
Yeah, he's doing it again. And this year they're trying to film a little documentary to go with it too. So that'll
Cool.
be cool. So we've got a ton of stuff coming up in the next few months to take us throughout the rest of the spring.
What a
Very
great team.
cool.
So much fun.
And it's Ximenez-Fatio House.org, correct? And boy, that is not phonetic at all. You can't, it's Ximenez-Fatio House.org. Did I spell that right?
Yes.
Okay. We're all going to go with yes.
We'll put that in comments for everybody to make it easy.
Very
That's awesome.
cool. Thank you so much, Emily, for coming by. This is very
thank you for
insightful.
having me.
Yeah, it's what I love about you guys down there at Ximenez-Fatio House is you guys are so invested. You guys all love what you do, and I think it shows in the performances, the tours, and just the energy that you guys bring to the table with all of that. Yeah, absolutely. We appreciate you.
Hey guys, I've got a real quick shortcut on that website, xfhouse.org. It goes right to the page.
Oh,
Very
hey,
nice.
there you
Yes,
go. Very nice. That's easier.
I usually tell people who can't say the name, I go, just call us the XF House.
Yeah,
It's
There you
fine.
go.
Yeah,
It's
Okay.
fine.
Oh, I found a new life hack today.
Me too.
Jeez,
Thanks, Emily.
that's great.
We got permission too.
Well, we never have to worry about mispronouncing that again, Davey.
Right, it's awesome.
Jeez. Emily Ward, tour and programming specialist. Thank you so much for hanging out with us.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks
you,
for
Emily.
having me.
Heck yeah. Yeah, man. They're always doing a lot of cool stuff
So
over
much
there.
fun. There's a lot of partnerships too with the Art Association. They're doing some great things together. So
Yeah.
check that out. A lot of fun.
Yeah, a lot of places just exist.
Yeah.
And you kind of walk through and you give yourself a tour and there's
Right.
signs on the walls, but they make it really, really interactive down there. And it's such a great story to tell.
Yeah,
Of that
totally.
place.
Especially with James Bullock. Wow.
I know, man.
Yeah.
That guy, I've recorded him for several things.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
and
somebody you
just,
want- yeah.
you're always blown away by just the guy's ability to tell stories and that
Definitely.
voice. Man.
Yeah.
It's got a killer voice.
Beautiful.
Man. Betty's a good singer. Betty's a great singer.
Bassist.
Yeah. All right, man. I was about to tell you about the Bailey Group again. I'm sure they'd love that.
No, but you can go on a trolley and sing like James Bullock.
Yes, well, you can't pull that off. I
Wow.
promise you can't. But you can try.
Yeah.
You can definitely try. I've never even heard him sing, and I know he's a great singer. St. Johns County residents always get a tour free when accompanied by a full fare adult paid guest. You got to take advantage of this. It's an incredible offer. And hey, if you got friends or family coming in town for the Florida Man games, this is a great way to get them out and about in St. Augustine.
Nice.
And see the sights. Get your hometown pass today at hometownpass.com. It is absolutely free. It is the easiest thing in the world you've ever signed up for. And it can also be used at the old jail, Potter's Wax Museum, and the oldest store museum experience. You can also, it's the best way to entertain visiting friends and family. It's the hometown pass, hometownpass.com. The green trains, we love them.
Hey, let's talk about something we take very seriously.
Let's talk about it.
Air conditioning and heating.
Yes.
We are not about being left in a hot mess of humidity, right?
Nope.
So when was the last time you gave your home unit some love? Well, for a fabulous 45 years, All-American Air has been the AC hero of St. Augustine and beyond. They're talking St. John's, Flagler, Duval, and Putnam counties. They're not just experts, but they're also the cool cats of warranty and non-warranty service.
There you go.
They have preventative maintenance agreements and new construction installations and rocking high-efficiency systems. From Lennox Wonders to the ultra smart iComfort thermostat, they've got all the HV magic that you need. It's not just about the tech buzz. All American Air takes pride in making you a customer for life. They can match any price, but let's be real. No one can match their quality of service and vibes. Give them a call today, 904-461-0070.
You freshened that up on ChatGPT, didn't you?
Oh, I did. That was nice. Yes. I
There
love
you
my
go.
chat. That's my company. They're
There
nice
we
to
go.
me.
There we
Yeah.
go. They are great. I need to do that on my end over here. Hey, do you want to meet a true wine connoisseur that can help you find your new favorite wine?
I absolutely do. I'm tired of buying cheap, gross wine.
That's all I do, unfortunately. So I really need to level up my game. And I do that by talking to Irving down there at Bin 39. He is our local wine connoisseur.
Yes,
I don't
sir.
think there's anybody who not only knows about wine as much as Irving does, but cares about it and loves about it. He knows the stories. He knows the people behind the bottles of wine. And he wants to make sure you have an amazing experience while you are out there tasting and laughing and enjoying your time at Bin 39. They got a great little courtyard area for you to enjoy out there. Hang out with some friends. Just relax the day away with a few bottles of wine.
Yeah, that sounds relaxing and fun.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
904-827-5740 to get on one of those wine tasting lists. But you can stop in anytime between 8 and 8 and enjoy a great glass of your new favorite wine at bin 39.
So fun.
Yeah, it is. Hey, Davey, you ready for more fun?
No.
It's horoscope time. And we've got you and Sagittarius on deck.
Great.
Yep. Clay, let's get this going, man.
Why, Clay? Why?
Scorpio. Your mysterious nature will reach new heights today when even you can't figure out what you're doing. Embrace the mystery of misplacing your own things at home. That's it. You're going to misplace stuff.
Okay, that's fine. I can deal with that.
That's not the worst one you've ever got, Del.
Last week was horrible.
Yes, it was. Sagittarius. Your adventurous spirit will lead you to the wild and uncharted territories of your local supermarket. Beware of the treacherous frozen food aisle.
Treacherous frozen food? Yeah, well.
Well, right now, it's treacherous to be in a freezing aisle.
Right,
at this
freezer
very
burn
moment.
really is something you need to be cautious about.
Yeah, it is.
Don't choke.
All right, that wasn't too bad.
No, it wasn't too bad, actually.
That really
Nice.
wasn't.
Thank you. Yeah, because you didn't. Yesterday, you've poked the flames of the stars.
Oh, yeah.
This is different today. Nice.
We figured we'd give you a break today.
That was kind. Rewind.
What else you got for us, man?
Oh, snap!
Oh, what?
If you're a fan of sticking things together to other things, don't miss this opportunity. Fall in love
Who
with...
has ever sat there and said, I'm such a fan of sticking things to other things?
I love this read so much. It came to me this morning. Fall in love with mixed media creations by the likes of Anna, Rosalie, and Heather,
Okay.
and Jessie Lane and Lizzie. Bring a buddy.
Lizzo?
Lizzo will be there. Grab a cold one and create your own stunning artwork in the Collage Corner. A delightful evening sponsored by Gas Full Service Restaurant.
Hey, they're
doing a really cool like art moment at their restaurant. This is happening Sunday, save the date, March 24th from 4 to 8 p.m. Of course, that's 9 Anastasia Boulevard. So yeah, a fantastic collage showcase is happening at Gas. We love that.
I like that flyer. You know what that reminds me of is that old show on Nickelodeon, You Can't Do That on Television. You remember that one?
Yeah.
It had kind of that old-timey feel to it.
It does, definitely. Yeah, with the newspaper.
Yeah. Anyway.
Hey, I heard from our friend Freddie. They're doing a really cool chili bowl by Food Mafia.
Love
cook-off. Yes, this is happening the day after FMG, Florida Man Games.
Troy!
So, yeah.
Where you at, Troy?
Troy already said he's going to be too exhausted from the Florida Man Games that he cannot participate in this one.
That's probably true.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Probably true. We're all going to be exhausted.
Yeah, exactly.
I think we might take the whole week off after Florida Man Games.
Sunday, February 25th. This is happening from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. So go out, show up and show out. The Food Mafia is excited to host St. Augustine's first chili bowl. Local restaurants and chefs will be bringing their best chili game to the Milano Room at Amici on Sunday, February 25th. They will compete against local chefs for our Foodie Towns bragging rights in 2 categories, beef and freestyle, which is non-beef.
Freestyle.
Right? They will be professional judging for first, second, and third place in each category. You will also get to vote for your favorite in the People's Choice category. Attendees will have tasting tickets to give for samples. Professional judges will receive the samples from a courier. Winners will be announced at the end of the event, and proceeds will benefit our great friends over at the Jimmy Jam Community Outreach.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
More information, check them out, jimmyjamoutreach.com. Very, very cool. Food Mafia presents the Chili Bowl.
Boy, you know you're doing something good, and we always are bragging about the Jimmy Jam, but it seems like everybody now is doing their fundraisers for Jimmy Jam.
And
in addition to that, they should, because these men and women get out there and they help real people in times of need immediately. It's not like you need a light bill paid and then they have to wait 2 months to approve it.
Right.
Yeah. A lot of times,
right away.
A lot of times they can do it same day that people ask for help. So glad that Jimmy Jam is raising so much money because it all goes 100% right back to our community. They don't keep a dime for themselves. I can't stress that enough, how impressive that is. Because even some of your favorite charities who also do great work, but they pay themselves a salary. And that's that's deserved.
They have to level up and to be able to get the exposure that they need. But Jimmy Jam is great because of the amount of work and service that they do for their community comes right back to them tenfold. So amazing.
It's really awesome.
Yeah.
Really awesome.
Very, very cool. Speaking of really awesome, real quick, Big Brothers and Big Sisters, they had to reschedule this event. Barbecue, Beer, and Bigs. This is a mentor recruitment event happening over at Ancient City Brewery. This is Saturday, January 12th from 5 to 8 p.m. And this is the Ancient City Brewery over on Agricultural Agricultural Center Drive, sorry.
There you go, right out there off 16, yeah.
Yes. It takes little to be big. So check this out. You can mentor a child and honestly change their lives forever. So this is going to be a really, really cool moment. Barbecue, beer, and bigs. Check them out. Big Brothers, Big Sisters of St. Johns County.
Yeah, another organization we love.
Yes.
Hey, speaking of love, Panache.
Hey.
You're going to love your experience out there because they make you feel special out there, Panache. They've been doing that since 1987. That's when they opened their doors, and they have strived to be a cut above the rest ever since then. Their mission at Panache is to care for their team, their guests, and our community from scalp to soul. And bring joy to the world one service at a time. Their carefully chosen and highly trained staff is there to exceed your expectations. And the same goes for their elegant salon space. It really will blow your mind in there. They're always leveling up out there, speaking of leveling up.
A whole nother world on the spa side. Yeah.
It is. It really is. You feel like you're in a different place. They're dedicated to guest comfort and devoted to innovation and artistry. They're focused on making your day and continually raising the bar. They're also proud to align with Aveda's mission of ethical and sustainable business practices, as well as their high fashion aesthetic. Check them out today. Go to getpanache.com and level yourself up, or a friend. Get something for your friend.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's the gift that keeps on giving.
It is.
You see your friend, you want to see a nice face. So then, get them something to do.
Yeah.
The United Way of St. Johns County is a champion for our community. They create opportunities, foster education, and improve the lives of those in need. From empowering children to succeed in school to providing vital resources for families in crisis, the United Way of St. Johns County is at the forefront of change by investing in education, health, and financial stability of everyone in our community. They're building a stronger, more resilient community for all. Check them out today, unitedway-sjc.org. They need volunteers, so please sign up today.
Yeah. And that's what do we got from for Funnies to get us out of here, Davey?
Oh, we got anti-work memes for those who have had enough
memes
with adulting.
Okay. Hello. I'm raising my hand.
This first one here. When you thought you've been working for 3 hours and it's actually only been 18 minutes.
Oh, yeah. Yep. I know that feeling.
And this next one. Me training the new hire at work. This isn't what you're really meant to do, but this is how we do it. Yeah. I've been there too.
Yeah, that was all my training I ever got at all my jobs, by the way. You're not supposed to steal Smirnoffs out of the back, but Publix, we do.
Hey, you ever met someone and it's very obvious that no one in their lives has ever told them to shut the heck up?
Oh, yeah.
Next up, when you've only been at work for 3 minutes and people are already asking stupid questions.
Oh, man.
Ugh. Next up, there's nothing better than a coworker who can reply to your sarcasm with sarcasm instead of getting offended.
That's right.
Those are angels in life.
Yes, they are. This is who our whole team is comprised of, by the way.
Very snarky. Next up, doctor, why are you here today? Me, I don't want to go to work.
Yep, get that doctor's note. They'll write you a note.
Exactly.
You're paying them enough for them to write you a damn note.
True story. It's like a spa. Next up, I'd be so happy when I get off work. I feel like I just got released from jail. Some people,
Yeah, some people. Not any of us here at 904 now, by the way.
This is all corporate America jobs.
Right.
Yeah, not us.
Cubicle jobs.
Yeah. Next up, boss. If you're going to quit, we need at least 2 weeks notice. Me, you'll notice when I'm not here. Oh, you ain't gonna get that pay
saucy.
either, honey.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Next, apparently clinically alive but dead inside is not how appropriate response when someone asks how you're doing. Who knew?
Why is it not appropriate?
I feel like that's honest.
Literally my responance.
That's why I put it in there.
And it is honest.
Next up, I have 2 milestones at work, lunch and leaving.
Fair.
And the last one, my response to anything work-related on when Friday hits, sounds like a Monday problem.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Especially around 4 o'clock on Monday on Friday. Yeah, you're ready.
We're tackling that next week.
You're ready. Yep. All right, man. Good stuff. Thank you for wrangling another great show. Clay out there for pressing buttons and you guys out there for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye, everybody.